Hello, everyone. Before we get started with today's 3 amazing horror books that I'm going to share with you, I want to remind you of a couple things. Number one, I have horror books for sale, and you can find the ones you see on your screen at the link in the description, along with others. And they're not a lot of money, so be sure to check those out. If you join my Patreon, I'll give you free short horror stories every month. 5 free books from other horror authors every month, and there's only one tier, so if that's something you're interested in to help support the channel, there's a link down below for that as well. And I do want to mention that I started a new channel because I'm always looking for new things to do, and it's called Horror Stories Daily. And just like it says, it's going to be me reading short horror stories, and I'll post one a day. And that's basically the whole idea. You can read along with it if you want on the screen, or you can just listen to it. It's up to you, but there'll be one every day. And the first one is up now. I just uploaded it earlier based on my short horror story. And there's a link in the description if you want to go check that out. And if you're an author and want me to read your horror story, if it's between 1,500 and 4,000 words, I'd be more than happy to do that. I'm not professional enough to charge you anything, but I'm also so poor I can't really pay you anything. But if you want to get the word out, I can read one of your stories, send people to where they can buy your books and things. And there's an email address in the description if you're an author and you want to do that. All right, with that being said, let's get started. All right, so the first book I want to talk about today is the latest from M.J. Mars. It's called the Fiva Experiments. Some books kind of make you stay up all night, because of how frightful they are. She takes a different approach in this book. This is a book that will absolutely make you terrified to even go to sleep or to even try to go to sleep, because that's the theme of this book, the Fiva Experiments. And it's basically about a group of people who signed up when they were in college for this sleep experiment, what they thought. Turns out it's part of an occultish, demonic ritual they were being used as test subjects for. And everyone who participated in that years ago died very horrifically. You're going to hear about how they died. And it's not pretty. And it all happened within a few days. Except for one person. He is the only survivor. But since then, his life has not been good. He's an alcoholic out of necessity, because if as he thinks about these things that happened in the past and how he's the one that got away and these things that were unleashed are still coming for him, he drinks to suppress those feelings. So he's not really having a good life. But now in the present, we're going to find out that the daughter of the scientist who performed the experiments back then is now back in town and getting recruits for a new Fiva experiment, offering people $300 per session, and all they got to do is sleep. And we're going to meet all these characters and the ones that participate and why they participate. Of course, most of it is financial. I mean, how easy is that? $300 to sleep? Yeah, I wish I could do that too. So it's but he knows. He's going to find out with an ex-girlfriend who was a police detective, but is now whip-smart private investigator. And some things are going to transpire when this woman's daughter posts a video online about that case from years ago and kind of alludes to the fact that the survivor, this guy, might have been responsible for the deaths. He might be a serial killer. He also happens now to be a teacher at the school where her daughter goes. So this is going to cause some tension because he wants it taken down. He doesn't want to relive anything about that. But this is going to lead to something else when people start dying again horrifically that have decided to take part in these experiments. And we'll read all about that. Trust me, it's gruesome. Absolutely horrific the way these entities, these creatures or demons, the way they come into the world through these people is absolutely insane and gross and disturbing. You'll have to read about it. But now they're on a race against time. Can they find this doctor, this woman, and can they stop her? Because this occult ritual involves many factors, which we'll learn as the book progresses. And she seems to be very well protected. And she might not be able to be caught. But all they know is that if they can't stop it, she is going to unleash hell on the earth, starting with these people in this experiment. And it gets very tense. It gets very action-packed, very bloody, of course. Yeah, this one will make you scared to close your eyes at night. I absolutely loved it. I highly recommend it. And there is a link, of course, in the description where you can pick up your copy. And next we have a collection of stories. Oh my God, this collection is so good. Blew me away. And that's what I love indie horror so much, because you find those little gems every once in a while. This one is called Friends, Lovers, and Other Gaslighters. And as you can tell, the theme of this book is mainly, people in a relationship of some kind, friends, family, lovers, ex-lovers, that kind of thing. And how these things go horribly, terribly wrong. And starting with the first story, you're in good hands. That thing was fantastic. But the thing is, some of these stories are connected to each other. Like they're told in 2 or 3 parts throughout the book, not all together. Even though they can all be read as standalone stories, they do connect, they do overlap at times. And it's a wonderful thing when you finish a story and you really liked it, and then you find out later you get to hear more about this, or what happens after, or something like that. And the author does a great job with that. The first story is great. It's about a woman, she recovering from surgery. It's her time to leave the hospital, and a guy picks her up, and she wants to refuse to go with him, even though they release her to him anyway, because she doesn't know him. She has no idea who this guy is. But he insists he's there for her. He loves her because he's her husband. And somehow she doesn't remember that they've been together 3 years, been married for 1 year. But here's the thing. She's frightened of him. But he can prove it. He can prove everything. He has a marriage certificate in their home, or in what she thinks is just her home. But in the home, there are pictures of them on the walls and on the mantles of their time the past 3 years. On their social media pages are pictures of them together posing on the day they got engaged and their wedding and everything. And more importantly, every single one of her friends and family says, "What are you talking about? This is your husband. You've been together 3 years." So she remembers everything else about her life almost, but she does not remember this guy. And for some reason, he seems very loving, very kind, very sympathetic to what she's going through. Perhaps something in the surgery that blocked that memory. But she does not trust him. She does not really like him. And we're going to find out things about that whole situation. And I'm not going to give it away, but man, it's like most of the stories in here. You think you might know where it's going, but then this author twists things around and takes you in a different direction. Oh man, I absolutely love that kind of thing. And there are other stories in here. You have ghost stories. You have some that are very heartfelt. You have some that are shorter but very, very effective. But then you have some that are just wonderfully bizarre and weird. I'll never not like something about a murderous vending machine or refrigerators seeking revenge against humans for a certain reason, which you'll read about. I'll never not like that. I mean, and the way it's written is so wonderful and engaging and puts you right in that world, and you're just there with them characters all the way. Yeah, this is 25 stories also, so this is a bargain. And each one just builds on the other, and they all bounce off each other, and they all have this horrific theme running through it, Yeah, this one is fantastic. An absolutely great collection. I highly recommend it, of course, and there's a link in the description where you can pick up your copy. And next we have Trog. This is a straight up slasher, bloody, gory creature feature. Decades ago, a man named Shackleton trapped this Yowie-type creature, Sasquatch-like, Bigfoot-like creature, underneath the tunnels of the house he built when he founded the town, and he kept it in a cage underneath the tunnels, hoping to tame it so he could take it out to be his star attraction at a freak show he wanted to start traveling with to make some money. And he knows that this thing is real. Very vicious, though. But if he can tame it, he'll make a fortune that way. One day he gets too close to the bars, though, and this thing is not messing around. It gets its first taste of human flesh. It tears him apart. Eats him until there's nothing left. And then we switch to the present day. A family, mother, father, and daughter, teenage daughter, they move into this house. And at night they hear this thumping sound seeming to come from underground. They think it's haunted at first, you know. The daughter's not happy. They had to move way out there in the boondocks, coming from a city. But something happened to her back in the city, and the dad thought it'd be safer and better to move here. And all this time we're going to find out Trog's actually been alive. He's been eating anything that crosses that tunnel, bugs and snakes and insects and any human that happened to wander by for whatever reason. But he's still locked behind that cage. However, this story isn't about just Trog doing all the killing. Although he is very bloodthirsty. That first taste of blood really set him off on a quest to kill anything he could that's human. But one night, 3 home invaders break into this family's home, and they are psychopaths. I mean, they are truly like psychos. They're not there to steal anything necessarily. They've been doing this for a while, and they just go to these different small towns, break into somebody's home, and torture and kill and assault everybody in the house. Men, women, children, doesn't matter. They're just thrill killers. They do it for the thrill of the kill. The true psychopaths. And they're wearing these different kinds of masks and everything. And after they capture this family and tie them up and tell the family straight up, nobody's leaving here alive. You know, you can forget about that. And they're going to start the torture and the murders. They hear the thump from downstairs and decide they want to go check it out. They don't believe the family when the family says, we don't know what's down there. There's a door outside and it's locked from the inside underneath, and we don't know what's in there. They say bullshit on that, and they decide to go down there and see what's down that ladder in that tunnel. And that's where things are going to take a horrific, double horrific turn, right? Because you got these psychos torturing this family mentally and physically. And then all of a sudden they unleash Trog, and pretty soon it becomes a bloodbath of epic proportions. Like, people are going to be dying here left and right. I mean, none of these characters are really going to leave unscathed. Maybe they don't all die, but most of them are going to be killed in a manner that is just terrifyingly bloody and gory and brutal, either by Trog or sometimes by these psychopaths. Yeah, you'll have to read how that turns out. This is a novella, though, that's just full of action, full of blood, full of tension. I love a good creature feature that just goes all out in its bloodthirstiness, you know. And this one certainly does that. Very, very fun to read. It's like a fun, gory ride, and I'm always up for that anytime. And so, yeah, I love this one. Of course, I highly recommend it. And there is a link in the description where you can pick up your copy. And as always, I want to say thank you for taking some of your time and spending it here with me. And until we meet again, keep reading spooky, my friends.